Good evening and welcome to another installment of Omnibros Live Thursday night manga show. A little different tonight. I've got a special guest with me. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So Gio is busy with some stuff, and Colleen is out of town. So it was going to be just me for a second, and then Gio said, "Hey, I reached out to Tim, and he's going to join you." And I was like, "Cool." So I'm not by myself.
Meanwhile, you're relieved, and I was instantaneously extra stressed because it's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to contribute in some meaningful way.
Well, I know that anyone viewing is going to be just as chill about everything as I will be, and tonight is the June upcoming manga. We're going to look at the catalog of stuff that's coming out throughout the month of June. So it's going to be a pretty chill show, and each of us will chime in on certain releases that we're excited about. I know one of the first things that's going to pop up is something that you will be excited, and I believe you already got, so
maybe.
So before we jump in, of course, mention the wonderful sponsor of our show that allows us to do this multiple times a week, every week. If I could find the little thing, boom, there's IST. We got basically the majority of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight, if not everything, is going to show up on IST at wonderful discounted prices. Not only do they have great discounts on manga, but on comics as well, where you can buy such omnibus and paperbacks and hardcovers of Marvel, DC, and favorite characters of ours, like someone here is a big fan of Daredevil, I believe.
Yeah, actually, that's how I met you all through the.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's still running. I don't do Facebook anymore, so the old Facebook group is how I met you and Gio and Jess and Peter and everybody else. And it's actually kind of crazy getting the opportunity to chime in on a couple of these things with you all and actually talk to you instead of just messaging back and forth for ages now. Peter pointed out it's been almost 10 years, which is mind-boggling. But
it's 7-8 years or something since I first had started that Facebook group, and I'm not on there too much either right now. I did a thing where one day I was like, I really need to take a break from Facebook, and I was like, I'm going to do a month, and then a month turned into 3 months, and then it just extended for a long time. And then I'm on there again, but just sparingly, every once in a while, or just scrolling and watching dumb videos on Facebook that pop up.
Yeah, my hiatus was not intentional. It just kind of happened, and then I realized after a couple weeks, I was like, you know what? My mental state's not a whole lot worse off without it, and so I just kind of kept going, and now every once in a while I'll get a message from somebody on Messenger, and I'm just sort of like, oh man, I gotta log in and look at that, but for the most part, don't really miss it.
Yeah, I feel it, and I'm kind of in the same place. I have gone away from TikTok for quite a while now, and the last one that I really need to break away from, but I don't think I can for work-related stuff, both work and this type of stuff, is Twitter. But I've learned to not lose myself in that stuff, and I don't get involved in
that's the key. That's the key, because it's it has been for a number of years. I won't even get into the politics of the last couple years, whatever, but it has long been a cesspool. I finally cut the cord on Twitter probably 5-6 months ago, and honestly, I was only using it just to kind of keep up with news and stuff. I wasn't even really interacting with anybody. It was just sort of oh, well, there's a bunch of publishers and mangaka and comic book creators that are still actively using it, and that was about all I paid attention to. So it absolutely has its uses.
Oh yeah, but if you've got Discord communities like Geo's, most of these things are shared there anyway, so you really don't have to interact with anything or anyone that you don't want to.
Well, and that's the thing between his Discord group and what little activity I have over on Blue, I have been able to mostly keep up with the, few people that I actually would want to. So you all included. So it works out.
Let me run through I know Gio likes to highlight all the comments. I'm not quite as good as it, but I'll run through them real quick, and then we'll jump into talking about some new releases coming for June.
Sounds good.
You guys have a great show tonight. Thank you so much. And Kane, of course, in the chat. Happy Friday Eve indeed. Warren, yo, H Field, hiya, and James anticipating or was surprised maybe by your appearance here. Elon, hey yo, Javier, hey y'all, and there's you. And Elon, people are excited to see you on the show, man.
Well, I appreciate it.
Gio missing a show. Yeah, Gio looks a little bit different. Guest appearance. Yes, a rant about the love of Don the Don.
Cannot wait for Evil Eye next weekend.
Is it next weekend in theaters?
It's next weekend in theaters here in the States. So
nice.
I haven't figured out exactly what day or time yet, but it will happen. So
yes. And Matt, thanks for popping in. Kane also deleting the Facebook, pulling that Band-Aid off. H-Field in a toxic, inescapable relationship. Yeah, I feel that. And then James sharing, of course, the link to the Discord. A friend of the show shirt. Unfortunate about the Twitter relationship. Okay, and then my one thing that I have next to me is my Don Don pillow.
Nice. Oh, you got like the official pillow.
Yeah, I got the real one.
I've got a couple bootlegs from Redbubble from probably a year and a half ago.
I've got a ton of bootleg stuff. All right, let's see. I'm gonna share my window that I have here with all of the releases, and I've got it like I've been doing the past couple of months. I've got it separated by publisher and their pages, and we're starting off with some stuff by from Viz Media. So we got Star Brighter Than the Sun, my absolute favorite series right now, Boruto Blue Vortex Volume 2. And there's Don Don, you got that one somewhat recently, like a little early, yeah.
Yeah, so I know not everybody has them in their areas, but Barnes and Noble, I had a problem a few months back with placing a bunch of pre-orders online and then a lot of stuff coming in damaged. And it got to a point to basically the little like online damage request, they essentially blacklisted me. I couldn't just do it online. I had to call in and talk to people and like jump through 12 different hoops, and it was a nightmare. So I just started going into my local store and placing pre-orders in the store to be delivered to the store, and I just pick them up. Well, when you do that, apparently a lot of manga is not strictly enforced day and date. So whenever a lot of this, especially a lot of the Viz stuff, when they get it in, they'll just let me know immediately. Yeah. So yeah, I picked up Donadon last Friday, which was like a full week and a half before the actual release date, which is coming Tuesday. So yeah, anybody who has a Barnes and Noble, I know they are not the sponsor of the show. I apologize. IST is great. I've used them for years, but convenience and getting my personal favorite a week early,
whatever
things a little bit, but
whatever works for each individual, I think is great, because everyone has different, like, what's the one thing that makes something best work for you. And like for me, it's always, I tend to gravitate towards the cheapest.
Absolutely.
But back when Right Stuff was kicking, they also had stuff like 2 weeks early all the time. And so that was really a huge thing for me. But yeah, Dandadan's coming out in the first week. So you can grab that one officially on the 3rd, I believe. And then we've got this, Dr. Stone is back with another single volume kind of epilogue with some of the bonus chapters that came out later. So that one's a cool
If
release.
I'm not mistaken, that's one of Colleen's favorite artists. Yes.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
friend of Colleen Boichi. Too bad they couldn't be here for this one. Kaiju number 8, volume 13, and we've got a debut as well in the first week, Kill Blue. Have you read any of this series? Because I have not.
I have not, but a friend of mine was actually just talking about that a day or two ago, that they had been perusing their local bookstore and saw it on the shelf a little bit early, and it had caught their eye. They thought it sounded intriguing and amusing, so it might be something worth checking out. But I have not read any as of yet.
I have not read it. I believe the creator is of what's it called? Kuroko's Basket. Am I right there? I have to double check that, but Fujimaki.
I did look. It is one of the titles that is on Viz's website through the Shonen Jump subscription. So if somebody doesn't want to jump on a physical copy and want to preview it, they can check it out there.
Yeah. So that one is coming out, though. So if you have been waiting for it to get physical, there you go. Then Let's Do It Already is coming out with volume 5. Marriage Toxin volume 7, which I've very much been enjoying. I highly recommend that one. And we're coming up towards the end of My Hero Academia volume, I think 42 or so is the last one. But this one, volume 41, is coming out this month. And then we've got One Piece Omnibus Edition, volume 35, collecting volumes 103 through 105. So approaching the end of Wano in the Omnis. And this is a final volume here, Rainbow Days, volume 16 from the Shoujo Beat line. I have not read any of that one, so I can't comment on it. And this one I know is a big, is exciting release for a lot of people, is the Bugle Call Song of War. I don't remember if it already has or not, but if it hasn't already gotten an anime announcement, I feel like it's coming soon.
I feel like I've heard you guys talk about that before.
I haven't read it at all, but like almost like immediately before it was announced, there was someone commenting on one of my YouTube videos from a while ago saying like, we need the bugle call. Like, I want the bugle call. And I was like, what the heck is that? Like, I had no clue what it was. Never heard of it. And the title like was just sounded weird to me. So I looked it up and found like, oh, it's a manga series. I've never heard of this. And then people were talking about it online. It sounded really intriguing. And then a month or two later, Viz announced it. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, that person's going to be happy.
You're hearing them go on and on about wanting the bugle call, and you're just like, they must have really enjoyed.
Oh, I think I lost you for like 2 seconds, but you're not frozen anymore.
Yeah. So advance warning. I'm trying to do this back in the room where I've actually got some of the manga stuff. I might need to move a room up a little bit closer to the router if we keep having some intermittent issues.
No worries. Whatever you need to do.
Well, I will keep an eye on it.
Okay. Let's see. Yona of the Dawn, volume 44. That one is still trucking along, and I really think that Viz needs to put out some like 3-in-1s or something of that, because I think a lot of the early ones are hard to get now. If they want that to continue selling at all, they need to do something with it.
Got to generate interest in the earlier volumes.
Yeah, they started doing like ads on various websites for their romantasy, like a lot of the Shoujo Beat titles, and this was one of them. And I was just like, you need to reprint some of it. Like, you're making ads, and people are not going to be able.
You're advertising the thing that people can't get to.
Yeah. Then I believe this starts the second week. Yeah, so this should be the beginning of the second week of the month. Akane Banashi, volume 12.
I really love that series.
That's a lot of fun. It's definitely a really fun series and really well. I was gonna say well animated. Really great artwork in that one.
Hopefully, eventually, really well animated.
Yeah, Oh, I'm sure they'll get something out there. Call of the Night Volume 20, and that one is the
Final volume.
So there's a big one. I wish Gio was here to talk about it, because I know that's one of his absolute faves.
Yeah, and he could talk about it better than I could, but it is one of my favorites as well, or has become one over the last couple years. But yeah, been looking forward to that one for sure. Kind of hoping that one shows up early, but we'll see.
Hey, well, I mean, you got time. It's on the second week, so
yeah, it's a couple weeks out. We're good.
Then we got another debut, Girl Crush Volume 1. Was this part of the Shoujo Beat line, or is it just no, it's just Viz Manga line. I remember when this one first got announced, a ton of people were super excited about it. I'm not too familiar with it. Let's see. Inspired by Arian's sincerity and her unexpected jealousy, Tenka decides that she's going to audition at a famous Korean talent agency. Although her research powers and ability to memorize moves have helped Tenka excel in the past, the judges seem to be looking for something more than just flawless technique. Does Tenka have a chance at becoming an idol when the only thing she's good at is being perfect? Girl Crush, Volume 1.
I hope I'm not misspeaking, but I feel like I saw Colleen post something about that.
I believe you are
the other day.
I think you are right with that one. I think that they were excited about it when it got announced, if I'm not mistaken. I Want to Do Bad Things with You, Volume 6. I believe 7 is the last one of that series. And Komi can't.
Already 6?
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
That's kind of quick.
Komi is at volume 34. 37, I think, is the last one, so not too far off from that ending. And, of course, Minecraft, the manga, volume 2. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, volume 2, the little $5, $6, I think now, version. Rainbows After Storms, volume 4. Chojin X, volume 9. Dogs Red Volume 2. Excited about that.
I really like that series. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I even like regardless, just being a huge fan of Golden Kamui, I would be in on this.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, it's the same type of like completely ridiculous, humor. I'm a big hockey fan, so that right away was a big sell for me. But yeah, the Golden Kamui tie and hockey, I was all in, but it is just as ridiculous and full of adult humor
yeah
as a predecessor. So
yeah, no, if you're a fan of Golden Kamui and even if you don't care about sports or hockey or any of that stuff, definitely a fun one to pick up.
It's also it's pretty good in the early couple volumes of explaining some of the ins and outs of hockey. Like, it's not full on explainer manga, but it does kind of, explain enough for somebody who's not familiar to kind of get a feel.
Yeah, for sure. I always appreciated that. Even though I was familiar with basketball when I read Slam Dunk, because I had played a little and like used to watch the sport and stuff, but Slam Dunk did a really good job of like explaining it without overdoing it, without like knocking you over the head with it. And I really like that over there as well. Fool Night Volume 5. That one's been a pretty cool series.
That's been very good.
And then we've got Haikyuu, the 3-in-1 edition, Volume 5. That's 13, 14, and 15. And Heart Gear from the creator of Black Torch, which is getting an anime. That was a big surprise when that got announced.
I was very surprised about that. I picked up Black Torch. I can't remember if Heart Gear had started to come out already or not. I know it was on the radar, but I picked up Black Torch because it was actually advertised on one of the back pages of like the first volume or two of Dandadan. I was like, that's interesting. And I gave it a shot and I really dug it. And so really excited for that when that comes out. But I've been enjoying Heart Gear as well. And I think that's only going to be 6 or 7 volumes, isn't it?
I looked earlier and it was 7. So if the site was accurate, then it's only a couple more. Also, just a few more volumes is Insomniacs After School. I think that's like 13 or 14, so not too far off. If you want something that's a little more dramatic, there you go.
Magic Lumiere, I've been meaning to check out for a while.
Yeah, that's
gotten around to it.
That's a little heavier. That's a little bit of a heavier series. Magic Lumiere is a lot of fun. Magical Girls Inc. Volume 8. We've got coming out there. That one, the anime, I think started up like early this year or last year, something like that. Mission Yozakura Family, Volume 17. Undead Unluck, Volume 20. This series has so many covers that look like they would be the last volume. Like this is like maybe the third time that it's had a final volume cover, and it doesn't end for like until like 27 or something like that. So it's not even that close. Zom 100 Volume 17. I'm very excited about that. Got one of the dogs is getting angry at the cat, and I can't do anything about it right now.
My dog is on the bed and behind the computer here, and I'm hoping he behaves.
Toast is just being way too like explorative. I don't know. And I'm like, just stay away from the dog. She doesn't want to play. So Zon 100. I counted last time, like every volume. I like to count and see like how much more. And it seemed like I think he was about like 3/4 through his list.
Okay. Yeah, that's on my list too. One of these days, I'm gonna actually start a couple of these longer series that are on the list.
That one is a lot of fun. It is also a very quick read. Like every volume I read probably in 30 minutes or less, because it's just very fast paced. Not usually like action, but like fast paced, kind of like humor, and so mixed with some action. The digital editions of Dear Anemone, that one I never read, but just from all the art that I saw, looked gorgeous. So I was pretty bummed that it didn't last.
I did read it through Viz's website. The art was awesome. I'm not gonna lie, some of the later chapters before it ended,
yeah,
axed. I honestly don't know what the actual situation was, but yeah, a few of the later chapters kind of lost me. But I think that was more because I was trying to pay attention to them like week to week or whatever the release schedule was online. I've realized in the last couple of years that's not the best way for me to keep up with a lot of stuff. There's certain things like Donadon where I'm like, I gotta read it right away, and the other stuff it's just like I'm better reading it in chunks and volumes. But yeah, the artwork on Dear Anemone was very good.
Well, hopefully, I don't know if the creator Rin Matsui has already gotten something else, but hopefully they continue to get some good work. Hardcover releases at the end of the month here for Fist of the North Star Volume 17. Volume 18 is the last one, so we're almost there. And My Name is Shingo, the Perfect Edition Volume 5. I have it in my head right now that 6 could be the last of the hardcovers, because it was originally 10 volumes long. I think it was a 6-volume hardcover set, but I'm not 100% sure here. So we'll move on though from Viz Media into Kodansha, where they've got a ton of digital stuff coming out.
Kodansha is putting a personal assault on my wallet in the next few months.
They've got a lot more. Like I was gonna say that Viz was a lot smaller of an amount of releases in comparison to some of the other publishers for this month.
Well, like Kodansha specifically, like June is the month that they're starting the monthly releases on Blue Lock and Windbreaker. So that's 2 right away that are going to be hitting me, once a month instead of once every second or third month. So.
So we'll start off. I've got a couple of digitals at the top that I skipped over, but We've got In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, Volume 8, which has been I've been outspoken about it, but that's like my favorite current like shoujo rom-com. Yeah, I'm still really enjoying it, and it did just get an anime announcement, which I'm not super crazy about that because when it comes to like shoujo anime adaptations, there's always like a lot of just it brings more like negative out from the community. And so I'm like, I just don't want to see that about one of my faves. That's going to really suck. And then
totally understandable.
And there's people who are just not fans of the series begin with, but whatever. I don't want to linger on that. We've of course got to talk about the Dashing Zaddy and his Ice Protege Volume 2.
Some of the titles just absolutely kill me. Like I manga, anime, crazy concepts. I get it. I love it. But yeah, the titles always kill me.
Let's see, another digital, and then Thunder 3 Volume 5. I just read Volume 4. It's a lot of fun.
I actually really enjoy that series. I had picked up Volume 1 a few months ago and plowed through it very quickly, and then due to not being able to find it locally, a friend of mine a few hours away actually picked up a copy of Volume 2, which put me behind in my reading for a bit until we actually crossed paths again.
Yeah.
And then I knocked out 2, 3, and 4, I think, in about a day and a half. Just probably half hour, 45 minutes each over a couple days, all at once, and got all caught up. Very fast read.
Yeah.
Art's excellent. Very much enjoy that series.
And I am still at this time convinced that it is by the creator of Gantz under a pen name. And my theory is that this is going to wind up being like the characters that come from like within the manga and are in the real world or whatever. Those characters are created by a fictional creator named Yuki Ikeda, and the real world is the Gantz world. That's my theory.
So I have not read Gantz, but I have heard you and Gio discuss like the various theories about this, and I love the idea.
If you like this, you will like Gantz.
Okay.
But you don't need to read Gantz like to get anything extra out of this. It's just the type of thing where it's like the art, you'll read it and be like, this looks the same. Like the art looks exactly the same. And the way it's written, the pacing and all that stuff also feels exactly the same. And there you go with the Windbreaker Volume 12. So from this point, Windbreaker is monthly?
Yes. Yeah,
wow.
Windbreaker and Blue Lock both are going to start coming out every month, once a month.
Okay. All right, got to prepare for that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's I'm like, I got my list of things, and you're like, okay, well, I got a volume. It's another 2-3 months before the next one, and now all of a sudden, it's just gonna be like once every month, and I'm like, cool, guys, I love the series, but my budget doesn't like that so much.
We got the third Sign of Affection Omnibus with 7 through 9. I think Volume 10 is... I got it somewhere. Yeah, so we have 10 volumes out right now. So this almost catches up to the singles. Some digitals. The print release of Medalist, Volume 9. I'm 1 volume behind on that. I need to read 8.
Holy cow, it's up to 9 already?
I know. That series and Nina and the Starry Bride both have been so quick with their releases. This one was it was so fast that I missed a volume at one point, and I got a new volume because I saw that it was out. I ordered it, and then when I got it, I started reading, and I was like, and then I looked at my shelf, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't get the last one.
Whoops. I feel like as I get older, I realize my concept of the passage of time is horrible, but I feel like Medalist just started, and it's already at 9. I'm like, how did that happen?
You are not wrong in thinking that way. I don't know how long it's been out, but I know that it's been a very quick release. My Noisy Roommate, The Roof Over My Head Comes with Monsters and a Hottie, Volume 3. Another great title right there. And then the print release of Blue Lock Episode Nagi Volume 4. I feel like Episode Nagi has been coming out pretty quickly as well.
I think so. I have, thanks to the anime, gotten wrapped up in Blue Lock and have started picking it up so that I can continue reading essentially where season 2 left off. I have not jumped in on the Nagi stuff. I saw the movie, but I'm not really sure how quickly or, content wise, what all that covers. So
I haven't seen the movie, but I've been confused by like, I was like, well, the manga was still ongoing. The movie came out. Like, what is this supposed? Is it supposed to be the same thing? What?
Right, and I have no idea. I can contribute nothing in that regard.
Let's see. Gazing at the Star Next Door, Volume 6. K Exyaku Bound by Law, Volume 7. Some digitals. Ninja versus Gokudo, Volume 8. I will admit that I think I may have mentioned before, I've been buying the volumes of Ninja versus Gokudo, and I still haven't started the series. Because I think that Kodansha sent Volume 1 my way, but it was like, it arrived when I was in the middle of like moving or something. And then I just never read it, but I kept buying it because I was like, oh, I'll get to it. But in my mind, the things that like I was sent were like not on the same priority as the things that I had been buying, because I was like, I spent my money on those, and maybe I should flip that because it's like something might be expected of me. And I just never read it, but I kept buying the volumes because I'm like, it looks like something I'd really like, so I'll just keep buying it.
So I have, along those lines, I have a question, but I'm seeing in the chat that we're looking, apparently we're into July.
Oh,
not June.
Was I always in July, or did we just finish? Oh, no. All right. Well,
good looking out, folks. But my follow-up question to, and I already forgot the name of the title, the one you were just talking about. Ninja I know you're usually pretty good about keeping up with your reading of your new stuff. What is maybe the most volumes of something that you have purchased without ever starting a series, or having prior to starting a series? Do you know?
It would probably be when I was trying to collect everything. Oh, you know what? It was when I was doing all the Shonen Sunday titles. I got all of what's that one Takahashi series before Mao but after Inuyasha? Rinni. I got all of Rinni, which is like 40 something volumes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So like you got all of it before you even started it?
Yeah, like it was like, I know it's Takahashi, so I was confident that like
right,
I would wind up enjoying it to some degree anyway. So it's fine. But like I keep up. I'm really good at keeping up with my releases that come out on a week to week basis. But anything that I bought where it was like an older series, I have a lot of stuff on the shelves that I haven't read yet that are like, anytime I get caught up, then I go back and I'm like, okay, now what can I check out from my older stuff?
Gotcha.
So it's still like, I've still read the vast majority of everything that I have, but I just kind of prioritize some things in a way that I realized eventually this makes the most sense for me.
I'm just impressed, honestly. 40 something volumes, whether it's a creator that you love and you have all the confidence that you're going to enjoy the series or not. I don't know that I would have the patience to hold off. I probably would have started or restarted like 3 times by the time I got to that point.
And I definitely don't like recommend people ever have that type of buying habit. It's just like, I was like, collector mentality. Like I want to get that. I want that, and it sometimes that gets you and it's kind of infectious in a bad way. But I'm going to try and kind of blast through these since I accidentally did a couple weeks of July.
So my comment though about Blue Lock and Windbreaker does go for June still. They have a new volume in June and then continue every month for the foreseeable future.
Okay. All right. So that'll make sense. Okay. So let's blast through these. Sign of Affection 11. So now we have 11 volumes before the third. Attack on Titan 35 Fly Collector's Box Set. This is additional material, some stuff from after the series ended. It is a pretty pricey set. I don't know everything that it includes, but where's the price? I think it was like 100 something, $200 or something for this. Amazon has it. Yeah, $250. Yeah, the colossal color art book, original interview, yada yada yada. So it has a lot of stuff. So that is coming out. Digital Initial D Omnibus Volume 6. This is the final volume of Kukuru's Done's Island hardcover. Let's see, Roar, new first volume. Fragrant Flower Blooms Dignity Volume 7. And there's Windbreaker 11. And I hope that at some point they'd be able to do it with Welcome to Demon School Arumakun as well, because there's like 40-something volumes in Japan, and they're way behind.
Oh, holy cow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that extensive.
Yes. Okay, June the 10th, Dead Rock Volume 2 from Hiro Mashima, Fall in Love You False Angels 3 by Koko Izuki. This one's really good. Great artwork. Let's see, Digital. I Want to Love You Till Your Dying Day Volume 3. Here's the physical edition of Isak, or however it's pronounced, Omnibus Edition 1 and 2.
I need to remember to try to pick that up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It definitely looks very up my alley as far as the artwork goes.
Yeah, I read the first chapter or two probably a year and a half ago at some point when they made it available. Maybe before they were launching their app or something. Mm-hmm. I can't remember, but I read a couple chapters and thought it was pretty good, and then kind of held out through the digital only releases. So hopefully the physicals are good, or hopefully it is good, and I'm not let down by waiting for the physical. Is what I meant.
Yeah, I gotcha. Digital. This is the final volume of Sketchy. This is the skateboarding, like a bunch of young women skateboarding manga. This one's been really good. Tank Share Volume 4 is one of my favorite titles. Like, it's a lot of fun, but the title is just always fun to mention. Darwin Incident, Gio's favorite character. For that one.
Poor Gio, missing out.
The Fable Omnibus Volume 8 with 15 and 16. And this is one I'm surprised every time I see the volume count. 7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, 17. I can't believe there's that much of the sequel series. June 17th, Am I Actually Strongest Volume 10. The print edition for Codename Sailor V 1 and 2 of the Naoko Takeuchi collection. So it's going to be the smaller trim size. Both of those are set to come out right now on the 17th. And let's see, digital, Rent a Girlfriend 31.
Another favorite of Gio's.
Yeah. Saving 80,000 Gold in Another World for My Retirement, Volume 11. Senpai is an Otokonoko, My Cross-Dressing Classmate, Volume 1. So new debut there. Shout Loud My Heart. Looks like a single volume BL series from what I can see, with the explicit sticker on there. And Ghost in the Shell, The Human Algorithm, Volume 5. I keep forgetting that this exists. I haven't read it at all, but
I haven't either, but a volume pops up very intermittently, it seems.
And every time I'm like, oh, I should pick that up. I love Ghost in the Shell, and then I don't pick it up.
Until the next one, 6 months later.
Yeah. And then the box set for Twilight Out of Focus. And then moving into the last week of the month of June. I'm on the right month now. Bless Volume 5. There's that Blue Lock 19. Drops of God Marriage Volume 13. To do some digitals. Grand Blue Dreaming Volume 22. Shangri-La Frontier Volume 17. And Snegurochka of the Spring Breeze from Hiroaki Samura, creator of Blade of the Immortal. Okay, we made it through Kodansha, and I'm going to look at the chat real quick because apparently ignoring the chat was a bad idea. They could have told me that I was...
they maybe had, maybe they did, and I just finally got around to seeing it myself because I'm not good at following two different things. So
yeah, no, that's why I wind up letting the chat just go because I get distracted by one thing or the other. Let's see. Lon asked about hauls. I forgot to stop on that, but if we have time at the end of the show, I might try to. I have a few things I think that I got this week, so I can. And if you have anything, then we can show those off.
Okay.
Don covers always so colorful and pretty. Dr. Stone, let's go. Let's see if they put 3-in-1s of Dawn or Yona of the Dawn. Get it? Full Night so good. Zom 100 nearing its end. I think like just by how much of his bucket list is done, it should be somewhere close to 20, like between 20 to 25 volumes total. I would be surprised if it went longer. My name is Shingo. Let's go. Series where I wasn't sure how I felt about it first Omnibros, but the second really pulled me in. I've been loving it since. I feel kind of similar on that. When are the Viz announcements? They should let us know, I think, within the next hour if they're going to do it tomorrow. But if they don't do it tomorrow, then I'm on the negative. I'm wrong about how my confident statement that it was this Friday. But on the positive, Colleen will be there. Yeah, it does happen. Yeah, the Zaddy translation. Friend of the show, Fatima, had said that it was actually a pretty accurate localization, and then trying to let us know that I was in the wrong place, but I just didn't notice. Sorry, guys. Josh coming in noticing that Geo is a little different this time.
Geo also speaks decidedly less Spanish.
Got all 19 of Oku. Entirety of Dorohedoro. Okay, now we're caught up. So we'll go into Yen Press, and Yen has a lot of releases, most of them in the last 2 weeks. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll through. I hate the top of the calendar always does this thing.
Yeah, you gotta love website formatting.
So Desperate for March, Hell is Dark with No Flowers, Volume 2.
Volume 1 was really, really good.
I think so too. I'm excited to check this out and see how it keeps going.
I actually borrowed a friend's copy, and it might have to get added to my list instead of borrowing theirs. So yeah, I really dug it.
Skeleton Enchanted by the Cursed Blade, Volume 1, the greatest demon lord who conquers the dungeon and commands an invincible army. Great title right there. Ascendance of a Bookworm, Part 3, Volume 3, Infinite Dendrogram, Volume 6. I was trying to type in that title to make sure if this was a final volume or not, and I kept saying Dendo Dragon every time I typed it. And it wouldn't pop up, and I was like, what the heck? And I looked, and I was like, oh, I'm dumb. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. I'm just searching for the wrong thing.
Aria of the Beach Forest, Volume 3, Dark Moon, The Blood Altars 7. I think both of those are final volumes, actually. Finding Camellia, Volume 4. I Tamed My Ex-Husband's Mad Dog, Volume 3. I'm Here Beside You, Volume 2. This is a final volume. Men of the Harem, Volume 3. I don't remember Volumes 1 or 2 of that because I feel like I would remember the title.
Yeah, you would think.
My Secretly Hot Husband, Volume 3. We're in the 17th where there's going to be a ton of releases. Yeah, we've been in the 17th. Not So Wicked Stepmom, Volume 6. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint 7. Radio Storm, Volume 1. There's a new debut. And the Spice and Wolf Collector's Edition manga. So take a look at that real quick. So this collector's edition, but it's a paperback, and it's only $22. But it had similar like design as the massive hardcover of the novels. So
Okay.
for a second, I was thinking that it was going to be a massive hardcover of the manga, and I was excited. I've never read the series, but I was just excited at the.
Me neither. I watched both the original and the more recent. I don't know if it's technically a remake or just a reimagining or whatever they want to call it, but reboot of whatever sorts. But they were both good. Haven't read any though.
I'll check it out. I'm curious to check it out, and I feel like if they wanted to put it out in a collector's edition, it must be worth at least my time checking out and my money.
I actually have a holo right here.
Oh, nice. The 13th Footprint, Volume 1. The Ragnarok System of the Desperate Reincarnated Demon Lord and the Seven Aggressive Maidens, Volume 1. As Gio would point out, we've got some personalities going on there. Togen Anki, Legend of the Cursed Blood, Volume 3.
Just in time for the anime to start up.
Oh, it hasn't started yet. I thought it had already.
It's coming in July, along with Don and Kaiju number 8 and My Dress Up Darling season 2 and probably like 12 other things that I'm trying to keep up with. Anime during the summer season this year is going to kick my ass.
Let's see. I just Will Fire Lunars tagged me from Gio's Discord saying that Viz would have by now tweeted about announcements, so it seems it'll be next week. So, phew, I dodged one of the bullets, but
hooray! Everybody gets more Colleen.
Yeah, but the unfortunate bullet that I didn't dodge was I get to be wrong, like confidently wrong about something on the internet.
Riley, being somebody who is wrong far more than I would like to admit, it's not all that bad. Worse things could happen.
Let's see. Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian, Volume 1. That one's light novel was out quite a while ago, and so I got confused and thought that this was already out. And I was like, oh, it wasn't. It was
and the anime was like last summer or fall, I think.
Yeah.
So the manga is definitely coming in a little bit behind.
Associate Professor Akira Takatsuki's Conjecture, Volume 6. Bride of the Barrier Master, Volume 4. Bungo Stray Dogs 1, Volume 11. Coffee Moon Volume 6 is the final volume. I was really enjoying this series, and it seems like it kind of just got pushed into its ending because it started so strong, and then about halfway I was like, I don't know what's going on here anymore.
I have thoroughly enjoyed that series. The problem with it for me is that by the time a new volume comes out, I've completely forgotten what the heck was going on.
I think
there's enough like Groundhog Day to it, to where I'm just sort of like, wait, what was happening? If I was smart, I'd go through, because they do seem to be fairly quick reads. If I was smart, I would go through and reread 1 through 5 right before 6 came out. So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to it.
I think that's a good idea. I think going through and reading everything in one go would be a great one. But I feel like I really, really liked it when it was very Groundhog Day-ish. And then like in like volumes 4 or 5 or whatever, it started to kind of push into another direction. I was like, I want to go back to that.
Right. Yeah. It's a very good looking book at the very least.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great looking. Darasan of Reiwa. I have no idea what this series is about, but she's got some personalities being like censored by the date. So
by the date.
Okay, so she's got a shirt on underneath it, but that was pretty good placement. No trespassing. And 2 young siblings venture in the dark world to which they do not belong. Long horrid shadow rears up to meet them, and look, I'm a malevolent deity. Okay, aren't you kids gonna freak out about my monstrous visage? Anyway, so that's how we got to meet Doris.
Personalities? Is that what they mean?
Possibly. This one looks like it could be fun. I might have to check this one out. Daughter of the Emperor, Volume 11. Friday at the Atelier, Volume 4, and that is a final volume. One of my favorites right now from Yen, Handyman Saito in Another World. Honey Lemon Soda, Volume 9. Honey Trap Shared House, Volume 5. Imitation 6. In Another World with My Smartphone, Volume 14. A Geo favorite, Interspecies Reviewers, Volume 10. Is the Order a Rabbit, Volume 3. Isekai Samurai, Volume 1. I really like this cover. It looks fun.
Oh, I like that too.
To a close. Unparalleled warrior Ginkgo hungers for a glorious death at the hands of a foe who outclasses her. Above all else, she yearns to die with her samurai pride intact. So after years of fruitless wandering, Ginkgo desperately prays to the Buddha in a last-ditch effort to attain what she seeks. When she next opens her eyes, however, she finds herself in the midst of battle with a dragon looming overhead in an entirely different world. Amid a strange new land chock full of monsters to challenge, will Ginkgo meet her match? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'll tell you that much. Kakegurui Compulsive Gambler, Volume 18, for the 5 people who watched Bet on Netflix and thought, I want to read this. There you go. There's a new volume.
I had no idea that was still ongoing. I thought it was done long ago.
I think maybe the spinoff ended. I'd have to double check on that, but yeah, I was browsing Netflix earlier for something to watch while I was working, and I saw Bet, and I was like, no, not doing that today. Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Volume 19, and Lycoris Recoil, Volume 3. I think both of those are Geo books. So
both of those, yeah. I can't speak for the mangas, but the anime on both of those are quite fun.
My instant death ability is so overpowered, no one in this other world stands a chance against me. Alpha Omega, Volume 8. Great title. No Longer Heroine, Volume 9. This one ends on Volume 10. Please Put Them On, Takamine-san, Volume 9. Riviere and the Land of Prayer, Volume 3. Sailor Zombie, Volume 1, with the great placeholder cover. Color of the End, Mission in the Apocalypse, Volume 2. Dark History.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
I know I liked the first volume, but I don't remember anything about it. So I probably need to read it again before I get the second.
See, that's the thing. I'm sitting here and I'm really excited for that. But if you were to ask me details, pretty hazy.
It was very
definitely apocalyptical, world. Girl kind of going out, exploring things on her own. That's about all I've got. But I liked it, and the art was good.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainous 12, The Heroic Tale of the Villainous Prince, Volume 1, The Hitman Stands, Volume 1. Does this mean that, the Hitman stands someone else? Or...
Man, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, it is, because it's got idol stuff. He's a...
Okay.
It's like the geek hitman and the Yakuza's bias fused together or something. Okay, cool. Fun. Saga of Tanya the Evil 26, Three Body Problem Volume 3, and Victoria of Many Faces Volume 2. That's everything from Yen. And unfortunately, with 7 Seas, it's just a list right now. Because they don't put up until the end of the month, or the month ends. But let's check in with the chat. Let's see what's going on. Just a few more comments. Yen calendar annoying for that first row. Bean Queenie also likes Hell is Dark 2. Oops, I meant to do this comment. The best manga about capitalism. If you're going
to Spice and Wolf, maybe?
Was it?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to the chat when you were going through that, but I feel like that's the first thing that comes to mind, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, if I'm going to be wrong, I might as well be confidently. And yeah. Okay, yeah, that was Spice and Wolf.
Nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not the greatest aspect of I feel like 7C's website is pretty good for everything else, but this is the one thing every time I'm like, oh man, they're not gonna do anything. Let's see. So we can just read through. I'll highlight a few things as we get to like cool stuff. Villainous and the Demon Knight, White Rose and Bloom. This, I really like this artist, Asumiko Nakamura. They did the Tales of the Kingdom, which is being put out by Yen Press. But I've bought like everything else that they've done that gets published in English just because I love the artwork so much.
Nice.
So that is a random highlight from me. Dungeon of Black Company 12, Crossplay Love, Otaku Punk Volume 12, Pandora in the Crimson Shell, Ghost Urn Volume 20. This, I want to highlight this just to say, may be connected to the Ghost in the Shell universe. But it's written by Shiro Masamune, but it's artwork by Koshi Rikto, who did Excel Saga. And I had seen something recently where like there's something that happens where the people online were saying, oh, this is confirming that it's connected to Ghost in the Shell. I think someone said something like that. I don't know. But now there's 20 volumes of a series that
I was gonna say, well, hey, cool. 20 volumes to check out to find out if it's true or not.
Exactly.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
that won't affect the budget at all.
Tokyo Avengers, Letter from Keisuke Baji, Volume 4. Unless you like get lucky and find an eBay listing of someone that's just trying to get rid of it or something like that. That's always fun.
I'm never that lucky.
I've like a couple times I've had that, and I've always been so excited when you find that. It's like 20 volumes for like $75, and then I offer them 60, and they're like, okay.
Right, yeah, because it's been sitting here for 3 months, and I just want to get rid of it.
Love by Two Fiancés, Killer Shark in Another World, My Kitten is a Picky Eater, I Got Married to the Girl I Hate Most in Class. It's an audio book. I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love, Double, novel, Berserk of Gluttony, Volume 12. I think there was someone on the show mentioned a story of like there was a mom trying to buy Berserk for their son or whatever, and picked up this one on mistake.
Whoops.
And it's like, oh yeah, that's very much not going to be the same thing. Not the 13 plus, not the 13 plus rated fantasy series. Remonster Volume 11, Screwed Up But I Was Reincarnated as a Girl in Another World, Volume 16. God, there's already 16 volumes of that. Otonari Complex Volume 4, Parallel Paradise Volume 22, Rose and Maiden Collector's Edition Volume 2. That first one was gorgeous, so I cannot wait to pick up this one. Now that we draw Volume 2, I abandoned my engagement because my sister is a tragic heroine, but somehow I became entangled with a righteous prince. Oh, that's a light novel. Dang it. Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom, Volume 10.
My Dear to be a manga.
My Dear Detective, Mitsuko's Case Files. I keep forgetting to pick this up, but I've heard such good things about it, and now there's 3 volumes of it. I'll have to get it at some point.
I like the cover.
Yeah, the art looks.
That doesn't necessarily mean much, but I like the cover.
That's the first stage. They got to have a good cover and an interesting title, and that's how they get you. Kageki Shoujo Volume 14, King of the Land Volume 2. That's the last volume of this short, like manhwa prequel to the series King of the Land, I think it's called. And then this is an interesting one, the SHWD Complete Yuri Collection, because they released the first volume and then never did 2 and 3, and eventually, they eventually just, instead of releasing 2 and 3, were like, we're just going to do an omnibus edition for the same price as 2 volumes combined.
I was gonna say, I feel like I remember you all talking about that like ages ago.
Yeah.
That's probably why. It was probably whenever that first volume came out.
Probably, yeah. So that one's coming out now. There's another one of those for Tough Love in the Office, black and white, that like they stopped producing after first volume, and then they just do the whole 3 volumes in one. Too Many Losing Heroines, Volume 3 is coming. The manga, I think Volume 4 is out right now. Nakamura-san, The Uninvited Yaru, Volume 3. You Like Me, Not My Daughter, Volume 6. Seventh Time Loop, The Villainess Enjoys a Carefree Life, Married to Her Worst Enemy, Volume 7. Dungeon Builder, The Demon King's Labyrinth is a Modern City, Volume 11. Villainous and the Demon Knight, Volume 3. After School Etude, Volume 3. Cursed Swordmaster's Harem Life by the Sword for the Sword, Volume 3. Trapped in a Dating Sim, The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs, Volume 12. The New Recruit, Volume 3. Failure Frame, I Became the Strongest and Annihilated Everything with Low-Level Spells, Volume 10. Arifureta, The Commonplace 2 World's Strongest, 14. Last Game, Volume 9. That one ends at 10. Let's see. Light novel. The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You, Volume 14.
That's a Geo series, isn't it?
I think so. And I also enjoy this one. It's a lot of fun, and it's part of Ghost Ship, but it's not like, I don't think it needed to go in Ghost Ship at all. Because it's not very ecchi whatsoever. Like, it has a little bit of like shonen fan service, but it definitely doesn't go to the lengths of being as ecchi as most Ghost Ship titles. Let's see. Stepmother and Stepsisters Aren't Wicked, Volume 6. Love's an Illusion, Volume 7. Cats with Jobs, Volume 1. New one from Pandania. I haven't picked up the, actually, lies. I did pick up the one that Dark Horse put out, the Cthulhu Cat one. That's very cute. And so now I want to start picking up his stuff, and Cats with Jobs looks like fun. Let's see. And then last week, Imaginary, Volume 3, Black Blood, Wolf's Daughter, A Werewolf's Tale. This one is by the same creator as the Kids on the Slope manga that the anime was based on. And I am crossing my fingers so hard that either Seven Seas or someone else will license that at some point. Got caught up in a Hero Summons, but the Other World Was at Peace, Volume 9. Peerless is a novel. There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. That's one of my favorite titles to read. Like, I've never read the title. I never read the series at all, but I love there's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless.
But it's like you're telling me there's a chance.
Saying there's a chance. Don't Call It Mystery, Volume 13 and 14. This is one that Colleen would be raising the roof for right now if they were here. I'm a couple volumes behind in reading that one, I'm going to be honest. Not for a
number of volumes behind, but I know you all love it.
I really enjoy it, but it's also very dense, and so I'm like, I have to be in the right mindset when I'm reading it so that I don't just kind of like forget what's going on.
Yep.
Lazy Dungeon Master 11, Hungry Succubus Wants to Consume Him, Volume 3, which I believe is the last volume. Yep, final volume of that one. This one had like the weirdest like proportions and position for her goodies on the covers.
Yeah, that's almost realistic anatomy. I mean,
let's see. Royal Tailor, Clothier to the Crown, You Will Become My Wife, Himigasaki Sakurako Is a Hot Mess. There's another debut for us in this this month. And Sweet Heat, Before Falling in Love, the CEO and His Fated Omega, Volume 1. That's the last one for this month from Seven Seas. Comes from Steamship. And then we can move on to Square Enix. Checking in with the chat real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything important from y'all. Asamiko Nakamura's art is so beautiful. Some of my favorite. Appreciate you agreeing with that. Luckiest I ever got was secondhand fine was Tokyo Ghoul box set for 40 on Depop of all places. Lou sold me his volumes of Tokyo Ghoul for $40. So that was a good Old weeb and manga reader who doesn't trust long titles. I find myself zoning out while the title keeps going. Meanwhile, my sister is an alpha test something in another world. Yes, Kids on the Slope. I'd like to rewatch that anime, actually. And a few titles this in June from Square Enix. We got The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, Volume 12. This is the final volume. She finally remembered her glasses, or did she?
Spoilers, Riley. Spoilers.
On and off work-life imbalance. This one's a pretty fun. So like, this guy is it's a dude who dresses as a woman like on his free time, and then this is a girl that's in the office who is usually very like dressed for an office job, and then on the free time she's kind of a punk.
I feel like I remember you all talking about that, like maybe when the license got announced or something. So it's finally a thing.
Yeah, and I read the first volume somewhat recently, and it was pretty good. It was just a nice kind of slice of lifey thing, and they haven't, as of the first volume, realized that they are each other just yet, because they work in the same office, and then they kind of run into each other outside of work, and they don't realize that it's them just yet. My Isekai Life Volume 19, Otaku Love Connection Volume 2. The series is very funny and cute. Always a Catch Volume 3, Ragna Crimson 14, and Wash It All Away Volume 2, which wins the award for the most like chill, relaxing slice of life series right now. Moving over to Titan, everyone's favorite publisher. Yan Volume 1, Adam the Beginning Volume 11, Dope Man Volume 2, and Outsiders Volume 1. I want to see if they have any of those crazy long descriptions. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that.
I was trying to follow your comments on Geo's Discord this afternoon about all of the upcoming Titan stuff.
Yeah,
and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom.
I've been keeping up with everything that they've been releasing because I wanted to try and like support and be able to talk about, since they're kind of just a couple or a few years old as far as being a manga publisher goes. And I knew like there's a potential here for Titan to get bigger because they're not, they've been around for a while. They have the budget and stuff. And so I've been keeping up with everything. And I think at this point, with them having like 22 new titles coming out so far this year, there's no way I can continue to keep up with everything. I'm definitely going to have to pick and choose.
It was a lot. I mean, I know over the last couple of days, everybody's been posting like, well, there's this new announcement and this new license announcement and whatever. And when you had everything in those like 2-3 posts, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Insane.
I made that just because like, I was like, it's a lot. I know it's a lot, but I want to see how much it actually is. And so I went through like everything that I could find and just put it all together. And it's like, oh my gosh. And then
honestly, if they would make their covers just like a tiny less thick, or the stock just a little less rigid,
yeah,
I'd be a much bigger fan.
I would like if they got just a little bit better of paper stock on the interior pages.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'll for the time being, I could deal with just slightly thinner covers. But yes, slightly nicer interiors, I would not argue.
I'm very, very curious about how the omnibus editions for Aoashi will look, because they haven't done them yet. And I don't think that they've said anything about trim size as of yet, but the vast majority of their releases have been the smaller size, with just a few larger ones. So I'm hoping that it'll be a larger trim size since they're 3-in-1s, and fingers crossed that they increase make the quality a little bit better at least, because I know if they don't, and I said this in Geo's Discord, like Aoashi and Sanda are going to be a lot of people's first time buying anything from Titan. And
Yeah,
it's the same quality that it has been. A lot of people are going to wind up disappointed. So we'll wind up seeing.
that was my biggest concern when they first announced that they had picked up Sonda, because that was one that I've been looking forward to, and I just want the quality of the volume to be a little bit nicer on my shelf.
Yeah,
selfishly, but I also feel like I'm not the only one. So
yeah,
we'll see. I am very intrigued by a lot of the things that they've got. The longest running that I've picked up from them has been Alpi the Soul Sender, which only has one volume left.
Yeah.
And I did jump on Speed Grapher. They dropped like 2 volumes in like back-to-back months, and then the third volume doesn't come out till like August or something.
I guess because I got the first one like a long time ago, and I think someone said that they released it, but there was an error.
Yeah, I feel like I remember you mentioning that you had it for ages.
Yeah, and then because I remember Crunchyroll kept saying that it was like not out yet, and I was like, I have it.
Yeah, it's funny because it's sitting here on my shelf.
Yeah. But yeah, I do hope that they do more titles in the Viz Sig trim size, as Gopa Kumar has pointed out or has mentioned, because they do have a handful, like the Sherlock manga and what was it called, Ryuko and Assassin's Creed. There's a few of them that are in that trim size, and then they also did what's it called, Afro Samurai, in like a full trade paperback size. So those are pretty nice. But that's Titan. That's what they've got this month. And here's everything else from listed. Everything else that I could find, at least over on Crunchyroll. Some really cool releases coming out. So the final volume, of Trigun Maximum from Dark Horse. That last hardcover is finally coming out. Veil from Udon. This was long awaited and long delayed. And so it's finally coming out. There's an art book right here. Some Tokyo Pop Love Love, Sweet or Bitter Love. My Death Flags Show No Sign of Ending. From One Piece Books. Another Love Love. Comic Party Wander Love Volume 3. Sanctify Lost Paradise. More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers Volume 2 from Udon. The Revenge of My Youth Volume 2 from One Piece Books. Tokyo Pop with The Unwanted Bride Loves the Crown Prince with All Her Heart Volume 1. Our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide Volume 6. My Adorable Betrothed, I guess that's just single volume on that one. Nekozuke from One Piece Books Volume 4. Tokyo Pop with Margrave's Daughter and the Enemy Prince. Tokyo Pop, My Contract with the Apothecary Monster Volume 2. Here's a very anticipated one. Search and Destroy Volume 2 coming from Fantagraphics.
And very, very delayed. I had pre-ordered that, and they actually canceled my pre-order because I don't know if it got like canceled and relisted, or if it just got pushed so many times that they just essentially did away with my pre-order. But I'm going to need to remember to try to grab that.
Yeah, I saw something because it was supposed to be a month or two ago. I'm sure.
I think originally it was supposed to be a couple months ago.
Yeah. And then I saw people talking about it being delayed, and I was like, oh, man. I've been really looking forward because that first volume was great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Some stuff from new publisher Nakama Press, which is under Mad Cave Studios. God Tier Volume 1 and the first 2 volumes of Infinity Force. We'll see if they both come out this month or not. I believe Kuma has Haberdashery Ginmokusei Part 1, which has been delayed from previous months. My Stepmom's Daughter is My Ex, Volume 2 from Udon. Happy of the End, Volume 3. Gannibal, Volume 4 from Ablaze.
A Geo favorite.
Oh, yeah. always a good one to troll Geo with. Short Game is definitely not coming out from Denpa this month. I can say that. If they haven't posted about it going to the printers, there's no chance. And I haven't seen anyone talk about it. Witch of Mine, Volume 4 from Ablaze. Get Schooled, Volume 4, and Centaurs, Volume 4, all from Ablaze. And then another one that probably won't come out from Denpa this month, Today's Menu for the Emiya family. And that wraps up all the manga and stuff that I was able to find through all the different places. And that was a good amount of stuff coming out this month. And some stuff from July, I guess.
I say, and you all got bonus content from July.
Hey, July over at Kodansha was looking pretty lit. I'm not going to lie. Let's see, Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide. I have always admired the cover art, but I haven't checked it out yet. So I might have to do so if Kane is recommending it. And there's the excitement for Veil. I too am excited to have it, and the artwork looks fantastic. So that's a big one of my top picks for the month. Do you have anything yourself? What are your top picks for releases this month, if you could say?
Anybody that knows me from Geo's Discord server or anywhere else will not be surprised that Dawn of Dawn Volume 13 is at the top of my list.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to. I've got my. Let's see. I've got my pre-orders here in front of me. Aside from Dawn of Dawn Volume 13, personal favorites: Windbreaker Volume 11, Akane Banashi Volume 12, Call of the Night Volume 20. And then, like I said, looking forward to apparently my impending reread of Coffee Moon.
Yeah,
and, that final volume. And Dog's Red Volume 2. Those are probably the most looked forward to. I keep up a lot with the series that I'm actively reading, and then here or there something catches my eye, or maybe I'll borrow something from a friend of mine. Like Hell is Dark with No Flowers. They picked up Volume 1. That was really good. So I may have to, like I said, I may not be patient enough to wait to borrow their Volume 2. So we'll see. But
I think for me, I'm excited for some of the new debuts this month, like the Bugle Call. I've been excited about the Isaac or however that's pronounced, coming from Kodansha.
Yeah, see, I already forgot about that one. I need to write it down. That's terrible.
It is what it is. I have a list in front of me right now. So, and also from Kodansha, that last volume of Mobile Suit Gundam, Kukuru's Done's Island, that series has been great. So far, the artwork fantastic. So definitely looking forward to that. Coffee Moon, I am interested in seeing how that ends, and I'll try to do a reread so I can have a good look at everything. That last hardcover of Trigon, the first volume of Veil, is definitely up there for me. A lot of solid releases this month. It's going to be a good month of manga. A decent month for comics as well. As far like I was looking at the list of hardcovers I wanted to pick up this month or next month, I was like, damn, I need to find some money somewhere.
Yeah. Start donating that plasma. Or other things.
It was to the point where I was like, there's a lot of stuff that I really want, but it's like, how much do I really need Red Lanterns?
Right? I have stopped paying as close attention to a lot of the comic releases.
Yeah.
but I know, and this may be, I don't know about actual release date timeline, but I saw that they were finally getting around to doing like the Tomasi and Gleason like Green Lantern Corps that went alongside Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. And I was like, oh man, that stuff was really good. Why did it take them like 12 years to get around to doing that? Like what took them so long? Like there's absolutely a time where I would have jumped in on that without even thinking. And now I'm just sort of like, is it really in the budget? I don't know.
I have a few things like that the past few months where I'm like, my wish list on In Stock Trades has been growing because I'm just like putting things off, and I'm like, maybe my birthday or my next this or something.
Yeah, shoot, your birthday's not far off. See, like mine's a couple months past now, but like yours is coming up.
Yeah, it's I appreciate you remembering. It's on July 4th, so
kind of hard to forget for those of us who have been in similar circles for quite a while.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's hard to balance everything that, being into all kinds of stuff. But
it really is. It really is.
Luckily, we have our sponsor of the show, InStockTrades.com, providing great prices on all the manga that we talked about tonight and all the omnibus and comics that
apologies to the very wonderful longtime sponsor for my speaking praises of a brick and mortar competitor earlier in the show. But In Stock Trades has always been good to me, so no complaints.
Well, this was a great, fun show. I know that Ilan asked earlier about hauls. Did you pick up anything this week that you'd want to show off?
Well, as we talked earlier, I actually got Dawn to Dawn Volume 13, which is technically coming out this coming week, a week ago. But this afternoon on my lunch break, I grabbed another couple days early release. I got Kaiju number 8.
Nice.
Also Volume 13. So yeah, I guess that's really it as far as the recent timeline of haul. I'm trying to look, because when I get that stuff early and then I go ahead and read it, it gets shelved on the shelf, and then it's like, oh wait.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
The other, it's been a week or so. I can't remember what the official release date was, but another recent favorite, After God Volume 4.
I got that one too. Yeah,
like I said, I don't remember exactly when the release date was supposed to be, but that was sometime in the last week or two. But yeah, that's probably it. Otherwise, I'd be getting into stuff that was a month old and doesn't really qualify. So
I did get some stuff this week, but just a lot of recent. I think the easiest thing for me to do is I'm just gonna go to my to read shelf, and because most of what's on there is like haul stuff from the past few weeks, and a lot of these arrived. Oh, sleeping dolls, but so yeah, that's most of like new. I just realized I can highlight myself. Okay. So yeah, I still haven't gotten around into reading The Climber. I'm several weeks behind on some stuff, but this is my to read pile right now. A lot of these just came in recently, and some of them this week. So I'm really looking forward to, like, obviously that Cosmos is new. Other first volumes, final volume of Dracula, first volume Gaiatima, that's gonna be fun. So
that is a lot of fun. I don't have that on my shelf at the moment because I lent it to a friend of mine, but I read that, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago when I was first able to get my hands on it. I really dug it, and I know Gio just posted a video about it the other day. So good stuff. Definitely worth checking out.
Hopefully this weekend I'll find time to knock out like a dozen or so books from the shelf. But
yeah, it's a quick read, but I really dug it. It was on my radar because it's by the same Kent, the same mangaka that did Colorless.
yes, yeah.
So I enjoyed that series, but I don't want to fall prey to recency bias, but I think I enjoyed the first volume of Gayatima more than I did the beginning of Colorless. So hopefully that's a good sign.
That's definitely enough to get me like, I need to read it soon. So I'll definitely.
Yeah, success.
Hell yeah.
I contributed something tonight.
It was a good stream. This was fun. I really appreciate you being on here.
No, I appreciate the invite. I'm a little bit bummed that couldn't hang out with everybody, but I understand, stuff happens. Glad was able to participate and give you a reason to still do it. So
well, we'll have to then get you on another time when at least Gio and I, hopefully Gio, Colleen, and I, and we can all hang out and have fun together.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But similar to Kane, I also have to let the dogs out. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the show. Thank you again so much, Tim, for joining. And thank you, everyone in the chat. And I guess we will see y'all around. Peace out, everybody.
Appreciate it, guys. Good night.